Alright, dealing with frames here, guys, is very simple. As a general rule, you can call it the 2-inch rule or whatever you want to call it. If someone has a frame here, that frame is very strong in the direction of the joint. So if we have, you know, a leg frame and then arm frames and things like that, we always want to deal with the leg frames first, then the arm frames. The 2-inch rule really says that if I can move 2 inches above the frame and collapse weight on it, I'm most likely going to be very strong. It also says that if I can move 2 inches to the side, and now in this instance I'm going to put pressure on her foot and bring that closer, I'm also going to break the frame. It also says that you can go below it, but that's not as good, but you can also start working around the frame in the same sort of position. That's the general rule of just beating frames. I want to beat the frame using a 2-inch kind of rule and concept when I think about it so I don't panic. But then, if I want to beat the knee shield, what happens a lot is that people do the arm weave and then maybe they grab a collar and they try to get on top of the frame, but they just follow with the frame and they tend to be stuck. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to hold this and I'm going to use the 2-inch rule. So my shoulder here is really close to the hip, which is almost futile for me to be able to deal with. So I'm going to drop backwards and I'm going to put my shoulder really far down on her thigh where that frame is just going to collapse immediately. So I'm going to stay here, I'm going to sit back and drop down. When I'm here, if you want to, you can just sit simultaneously. You can also scroll that weight directly onto that point of the frame. Keep the pressure and then find your way up into side control. So there are many ways of doing it, but those are 2 generic things that you need to remember. Don't go close to where that joint is in the frame because it's really strong. The further away I move, the more leverage I'm going to have over that frame. Don't go through it, go above it, below it, underneath it, or to the side in either direction in order to deal with the frame.